In today's episode, I'm not going to talk about the trust premium or the impact that it has on your revenue. Trust premium has the impact on your revenue. It's the willingness of your customers to pay more because they trust you compared to someone they don't know. This time, I'm going to show you through some very basic, very fundamental financial analysis and what your accounting would look like, how that affects the bottom line. Both the trust premium and the trust preference have a compound effect on your bottom line, on your net profit, on what you take home to your family. Let's start this analysis right after this. Welcome to The Trust Show. I'm Yoram Solomon, your host, the author of the Book of Trust, and facilitator of the Trust Habits Workshop. My mission is simple. I want to help you form habits that build your trustworthiness, because the answer to this question will have the biggest impact on your personal and professional success or failure. Can I trust you? Chapter 6. The Bottom Line Impact of Trust Premium. Until now, I focused on how trust premium, the additional price customers are willing to pay due to trust, and trust preference, the percentage of customers that would choose you at the same price, can boost your revenue. However, their impact extends beyond revenue, significantly amplifying your profitability in several ways. Let's quantify this concept and explore its effects. For this example, based on my survey finding, let's assume a trust premium of 20%, a midpoint. If customers are willing to pay a 20% higher price because they trust you, your revenue will increase by the same percentage. But as any business owner knows, revenue alone doesn't sustain you or your family. It's your net profit, the amount left after expenses, that truly matters. And this is where Trust Premium delivers an even more profound impact than on your revenue. To understand why, let's break down business expenses into variable and fixed expenses. Variable expenses, often called the cost of goods sold or COGS, include the incremental costs of delivering one more unit of product or service, such as materials, labor, or other direct costs. For example, if you sell a new car, the variable cost is what you paid the manufacturer for the car. If you produce goods, it's the cost of materials and labor. If you provide a service, it might include your time, fuel, or equipment depreciation. Importantly, even your own time has an opportunity cost. If you could earn $50 an hour working elsewhere, that's the opportunity cost of your time in your business. Once variable expenses are deducted from revenue, what remains is your gross profit. Gross profit margins vary widely by industry, but let's use 50% as an average. If a single unit of your product or service typically sells for $100 and it costs you $50 to deliver that unit, then your gross profit is $50. Now, let's introduce the 20% trust premium. With trust, customers are willing to pay $120 for the same product or service. Because the additional $20 doesn't increase your variable expenses, the same effort is required to achieve them, those $20 flow entirely to your gross profit line. As a result, your gross profit jumps to $70, which is $120 minus $50, a 40% increase over the original $50 of gross profit. Not only do your variable expenses stay the same, but your fixed expenses, costs like rent, insurance, utilities, and marketing, don't change directly with the number of sales. Let's assume your fixed expenses are $30. On a $100 sale with a $50 gross profit, your net profit after covering both variable and fixed expenses is $20. $100 minus $50 minus $30. However, with a 20% trust premium raising the sale price to $120, while neither your variable nor fixed costs change, your net profit increases to $40. $120 minus $50 minus $30. That's a 100% increase in net profit. Simply put, the trust premium doubles what you take home from your business. This is because both variable and fixed expenses remain constant regardless of the price customers are willing to pay, making every additional dollar from trust premium even more impactful. Now, let's check the impact of the trust preference on the number of customers and how it affects profitability. In the left column of Figure 20, there is a 50% trust preference as customers split their business between you and your competitors. You only get 50% of them. In the right column, your trust preference is 100%. As you saw, my research showed that trust preference values tend to get very close to 100%. Your revenue is double. Note that your revenue is normalized to selling a single unit of product or service or $100. The trust preference is maximized when the price is equal to that of the less trusted customer. Therefore, the variable and fixed cost margins as a percentage of revenue remain the same. In this case, again, the trust preference doubles the revenue as well as the profit. The benefits of trust don't stop at higher prices or higher preferences. Trust can also reduce your customer acquisition costs, called CAC, the time and money spent on sales and marketing to win new customers. High trust leads to trust preference, the tendency for customers to choose you over the competitors. This creates two powerful outcomes. One, if your business has no capacity limits, trust helps you grow revenue without increasing marketing and sales expenses. Two, if your business has capacity limits, for example, a professional speaker delivering 50 engagements per year, trust allows you to achieve your goals with lower sales and marketing efforts. For instance, high trust preference allows you to rely more on word-of-mouth referrals and less on costly and inefficient activities like cold calls or mass advertising. In today's world, where customers are bombarded with spam and scams, trust reduces friction in acquiring new customers. In this example, the revenue is similar with or without trust preference, but your marketing expenses, which are part of your fixed expenses, will drop. In this example, they drop from $30 to $20, thus causing your profit to increase by 50%. Summary. The combination of trust premium and trust preference has a compound positive effect on profitability. Higher revenue. Trust preference attracts more customers who prefer you over competitors. Increased pricing power. Trust premium allows you to charge higher prices without raising costs. Reduced costs. Trust preference lowers marketing and sales expenses for the same revenue. Ultimately, the profound financial benefits of trust rely on one essential factor: your ability to earn and maintain your customers' trust above that of your competitors. Trust is not just a competitive advantage, it's a financial multiplier. Trust premium and trust preference have a far greater impact on profitability than just raising prices. That's it for today. Today I covered Chapter 6, the bottom line impact of trust premium. As you could tell, the impact that both trust premium and trust preference have on your bottom line is a compound impact. And it's significant. It's a lot more than the potential 20% trust premium. This is also the end of part 1 of the book. Part 1 really talked about what the trust premium and trust preference are and why they're so important to your business, how they affect your customers choosing you over competitors, your customers' willingness to pay more, and how does this affect your bottom line. Next week, we're going to start with part 2 of the book, and part 2 talks about how to gain trust. So if I convinced you that trust is important to your business, now your next question is probably going to be, well, how do I become more trusted by my customers? That's what part 2 is going to be about with the next few chapters. I hope that gave you a slightly different perspective on what trust is, what trust premium is. May trust be with you. This was The Trust Show. What would you like to know about trust and trustworthiness? Let me know and I'll answer it in a future episode. I would love to hear from you. Email me at yoram@thetrustshow.com. If you like this episode, subscribe to the show so you will automatically get notified when I release a new episode. Rate it. Write a review for this podcast because those ratings help not only you, but also others looking for podcasts just like this. If you're looking for more resources to learn about how to build trust, be trusted, or know who to trust, look up my workshops, online courses, books, or go to my website, trusthabits.com. And remember that the answer to these 2 questions will have the biggest impact on your personal and professional success or failure. Can I trust you? And can you trust me? Thank you for listening or watching The Trust Show.